Can you still get out of a chair without using your arms? Can you carry groceries up a flight of stairs without stopping to catch your breath? Can you still feel that competitive fire inside you, that drive that made you who you are? If the answer is yes, gentlemen, I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to share, because what you're about to hear could completely change how you understand your body at 65 and beyond. And if the answer is no, if you've noticed things slipping, if you've been quietly wondering what happened to the man you used to be, then this video is even more important for you. Here's what most men don't realize. The signs I just described have almost nothing to do with age. They are direct signals of your testosterone status. And the difference between men who are thriving at 65 and men who are fading, it comes down to a handful of very specific, very measurable things happening inside your body right now. I'm Dr. Jocelyn Carter, a urologist with 12 years of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their vitality, strength, and confidence. I've worked with thousands of men who walked into my office convinced their best days were behind them. Most of them were wrong. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now and drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one, and it helps me know I'm reaching the men who need this most. Now let's talk about what's really going on. Testosterone is not just about muscle or drive or what happens in the bedroom. It is the master hormone of the male body. It governs your energy, your mood, your bone density, your metabolism, your cognitive sharpness, your immune function, essentially everything that makes you feel like yourself. When it's strong, life feels possible. When it's declining, everything quietly starts to erode. And the cruel part? It happens slowly enough that most men chalk it up to just getting older. But here's the truth that most doctors don't take enough time to explain. Testosterone decline is not inevitable. It is not a death sentence. And in many cases, it is completely reversible. The problem is that by the time most men walk into a clinic, they've already spent 5, sometimes 10 years living at a fraction of their potential. They've lost muscle mass they could have kept. They've gained belly fat that signals deeper hormonal disruption. They've withdrawn from relationships, hobbies, and ambitions, not because they wanted to, but because the biological engine driving all of it had slowly run low on fuel. That's what low testosterone does. It doesn't announce itself. It just quietly dims the lights. And there's a second layer to this that most people never discuss, the emotional weight of it. Men in their 60s were raised to be strong, self-sufficient, to push through. So when the energy disappears, when the motivation fades, when they look in the mirror and don't recognize the body looking back at them, they don't talk about it. They internalize it. They start to believe something is fundamentally wrong with them as a man. That is one of the most damaging lies testosterone decline tells. And there's a third problem. The medical system often fails these men. A standard blood panel checks total testosterone, declares it normal if it's anywhere above a very broad range, and sends the man home. But total testosterone tells only part of the story. Free testosterone, the amount your body can actually use, can be critically low even when total numbers look fine. And that's where men fall through the cracks. So what I want to do today is give you the real picture. I'm going to walk you through the key indicators, the things you can observe, feel, and test that tell you whether your testosterone is working for you or quietly working against you. These are the things I look for in my own patients before I even look at lab work. And if you're still doing these things at 65, your hormonal health is in better shape than you probably think. The first indicator is grip strength. This one surprises people, but it is one of the most clinically reliable markers we have. Biologically, grip strength reflects the density and function of fast-twitch muscle fibers, the type of muscle tissue that is most sensitive to testosterone. When testosterone is strong, these fibers are maintained. When it declines, they're the first to go. Think of it like the tensile strength of a cable. Testosterone keeps the fibers tight and dense. Without it, they thin, they loosen, they lose their snap. Emotionally, grip strength matters beyond the obvious. There is something deeply connected in the male psyche between physical capability and confidence. When men feel physically capable, when a handshake feels firm, when opening a jar doesn't require a second attempt, It reinforces an internal sense of competence. When that starts to slip, the psychological impact is real and often underestimated. Practically, here's what to do. Get a grip dynamometer. They're inexpensive, available online, and give you a measurable baseline. For a man in his 60s, a reading above 35 kilograms in the dominant hand is a positive sign. Below 30 warrants attention. More importantly, track it over time. A slow decline is more telling than any single reading. The second indicator is sleep quality, specifically whether you're getting deep, restorative sleep without waking between 2 and 4 in the morning. Biologically, here's why this matters. The majority of your daily testosterone is produced during deep sleep, in pulses that happen during your slow wave and REM cycles. If you're waking frequently, if you're light sleeping, if you lie down exhausted but wake up unrefreshed, your body is not completing the hormonal production cycle it needs. There's also a feedback loop that most men don't know about. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is inversely related to testosterone. They compete for the same biochemical precursors. When sleep is poor, cortisol stays elevated. Elevated cortisol signals the body to suppress testosterone production. Poor sleep causes low testosterone, and low testosterone disrupts sleep. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. I had a patient named Robert, 67, a retired engineer. He came to me convinced his fatigue was heart-related. His cardiac workup was clean. What we found was that his sleep architecture was severely fragmented. He was waking 4 to 5 times a night and had almost no slow-wave sleep. His free testosterone was at the bottom of the range for a man half his age. We addressed the sleep first. Melatonin at 0.5 milligrams, magnesium glycinate at 400 milligrams before bed, strict sleep and wake times, and blackout curtains. Within 8 weeks, his testosterone had climbed meaningfully, and more importantly, he told me he felt like a different man. He said, "I forgot what it felt like to wake up ready." Practically, prioritize sleep architecture, not just duration. 7 to 8 hours in a cool, dark room. Avoid alcohol within 3 hours of sleep. It fragments your deep sleep cycles even if it helps you fall asleep initially. Magnesium glycinate is your best ally here. Take it 30 minutes before bed, every night. The third indicator is morning erections. I want to address this with the clinical directness it deserves and without embarrassment, because this is one of the most accurate hormonal gauges a man has. Biologically, nocturnal and morning erections are driven almost entirely by testosterone and nitric oxide availability. They are not about arousal. They are the body's maintenance cycle for vascular health in that tissue. When testosterone is strong and circulation is good, they happen consistently. When testosterone falls, they become infrequent or disappear. Emotionally, this is an area where men suffer in silence more than almost any other. The absence of this completely normal biological function is interpreted as failure. Personal, sexual, masculine failure. Men don't talk to their doctors about it. They don't talk to their partners. They just carry it quietly, and it compounds the psychological weight of everything else. The practical message is this. If you are experiencing morning erections consistently, even if less frequent than in your 40s, that is a genuine positive signal about your testosterone and cardiovascular health. If they have been absent for months, that is valuable clinical information that warrants a conversation with your doctor, including a free testosterone panel and a cardiovascular assessment. The fourth indicator is your waist to height ratio. Take your waist measurement in inches or centimeters and divide it by your height in the same unit. A number below 0.5 means your waist is less than half your height. That is the benchmark. Biologically, this matters because visceral fat, the fat stored around your abdominal organs, is metabolically active. It contains an enzyme called aromatase, which converts testosterone into estrogen. The more visceral fat you carry, the faster this conversion happens, and the lower your usable testosterone becomes. It is a self-perpetuating cycle. Low testosterone promotes fat gain. Fat gain accelerates testosterone loss. I want to be direct and non-judgmental about this one. This is not about aesthetics. This is biochemistry. A man with a waist to height ratio above 0.6 is operating with a hormonal environment that is actively working against him, regardless of how he looks or feels on the surface. Emotionally, many men in their 60s have accepted abdominal weight gain as inevitable. It is not. And the moment they understand the hormonal mechanism driving it, they stop blaming willpower and start addressing the actual cause. Practically, resistance training 3 times per week is the single most powerful intervention. Not cardio, resistance training. It directly stimulates testosterone production, reduces aromatase activity, and begins to shift visceral fat. Add to that a reduction in refined carbohydrates and an increase in dietary fat from sources like olive oil, eggs, and fatty fish. These provide the cholesterol your body uses as the raw material to manufacture testosterone. The fifth indicator is your drive. Not sexual drive specifically, but your general motivational drive. Do you still get excited about things? Do you still make plans and want to follow through? Do you still feel competitive? Biologically, testosterone directly influences dopamine signaling in the brain's reward and motivation circuits. It doesn't just affect the body, it is deeply wired into how the brain generates ambition, curiosity, and the feeling that effort is worth it. There was a patient of mine, a man named Gerald, 71, former high school football coach, came to me because his wife had noticed he'd stopped watching sports. He'd stopped calling his former players. He sat at home most days and described it as just not caring anymore. His testosterone was severely deficient. After a comprehensive treatment plan, including lifestyle changes and medical support, he told me 6 months later that he'd started coaching a youth league again. He said, "I didn't know I'd lost myself. I just thought I'd gotten old." Gentlemen, that erosion of drive is not aging. It is a treatable hormonal state. Practically, dopamine and testosterone have a reciprocal relationship. Cold water exposure in the morning, a brief cold shower, triggers a significant dopamine release and activates norepinephrine signaling that supports testosterone. Competitive activities, even low-stakes ones like chess, strategy games, or athletic challenges, stimulate the hormonal response associated with drive. These are not trivial suggestions. They are leveraging your biology. The sixth indicator, and this is the one I find most men are surprised by, is your bone density and posture. Most men never think about bone density until something breaks. But bone density is one of the longest running records of your testosterone history. Biologically, testosterone is directly responsible for bone mineralization in men. The World Health Organization data is unambiguous. Men with chronically low testosterone have significantly higher rates of osteoporosis and fracture than men with healthy levels. If you've noticed a slight rounding of the upper back, if you've lost a noticeable amount of height, these are structural signals worth investigating. Practically, vitamin D3 combined with K2 is essential. Most men over 60 are deficient in D3, and without K2, the calcium mobilized by D3 doesn't reach the bone effectively. Take 5,000 IU of D3 with 100 micrograms of K2 MK7 daily with your fattiest meal. Add zinc, 30 milligrams per day, which is a critical cofactor for testosterone synthesis. And get a DEXA scan if you haven't had one. It takes 15 minutes and gives you a baseline that could be genuinely life-changing information. Here is your action plan. Step 1, measure yourself this week. Grip dynamometer, waist to height ratio, and if possible, request a free testosterone and SHBG panel from your doctor, not just total testosterone. Step 2, start magnesium glycinate every night before bed, vitamin D3 with K2 every morning, and resistance training 3 times per week. These 3 changes have the highest evidence base and the lowest barrier to entry. Step 3, track your indicators over 90 days. Morning erections, grip strength, energy on waking, motivational drive. Patterns across 90 days are more meaningful than any single blood test. If you've been frustrated, if you've been quietly ashamed of changes you couldn't explain, if you've been wondering whether this is just who you are now, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. Your body is not failing you out of spite. It is responding to inputs, and inputs can be changed. The biology is on your side. The research is on your side. Thousands of men I've worked with personally are on your side. After 60, vitality is not lost. It's waiting to be reclaimed. And reclaiming it starts with understanding what's happening. which is exactly what you've done today. If this video helped you, like it right now and leave a comment below telling me which indicators surprised you the most. Share this with a man in your life who needs to hear it, a brother, a friend, a father, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next week. I have a video that goes deep into the specific foods that are silently destroying testosterone in men over 60. You will not want to miss that one. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, reminding you that after 50, vitality isn't lost. It's waiting to be awakened. Take care, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next one.